chemical compound dot of paint. What is paint? A colored substance which is spread over a surface and dries to leave a thin decorative or dot protective coating. Chemical composition. Paint is composed of 0.4 components: pigments, binder, solvent, additives. Pigments, the pigment dot provides color. Binder, the binder binds dot the pigment particles together. The binder is a polymer, either dissolved in dot the paint or suspended in it by emulsifiers, the role of which is dot to hold the pigment to the surface. Solvent, the solvent helps to dot disperse the pigment dot and keep it suspended dot in the binder. And additives can be used to improve certain properties of the paint.
Any paint is made from pigment, binder, and sometimes fillers too. The pigment is the pure color substance and comes from various materials like oxides of metal, clay, or plants. They all behave differently when mixed into binders. When we mix oil paints, we grind pigment and linseed oil together. For acrylic paint, we use acrylic emulsion, sometimes called glaze, and then stir the pigments in. One can use eggs, animal fat, casein, wallpaper glue, and many other substances as binders, depending on the use of the painting medium. To make it a cheaper paint, one can mix in fillers like marble dust or chalk, but these will always steal away the brightness and intensity of the paint when applied. For many centuries of paint making, the binder for making watercolor paint has been gum acacia, also known as gummy arabic. The old masters, who were painting long before material production factories were invented, used the resin from the acacia trees, which dissolves in water. So, pigment plus dissolved gum acacia makes the purest watercolor paint. We, being based in Cape Town, South Africa, are lucky to have a paint factory, Dala, selling pigments already bound with water in bottles and paper glue in 750ml bottles. We have found that we can stir these two together to make watercolor paint very quickly. Children and adults at the Butterfly Art Project have tested the quality of this paint many thousands of times and found it very good. Let us show you how to mix a balanced red, yellow, and blue for using with beginners or in early childhood. Balanced primary colors allow for easier blending into secondary colors. Sometimes we call these balanced colors child blue, child red, and child yellow. The amounts we are mixing for a minimum of 1,000 A4 pages. Take a bottle of 750ml ultramarine blue, stir a cup of Prussian blue into it. Take a bottle of 750ml lemon yellow and stir a cup of golden yellow in it. Fortunately, the early red Dala offers is already balanced. There is a basic rule. To mix paint, you take 1 part pigment and 1 part binder. Once you mix the pigments, you add the same amount of paper glue and then you stir. Before offering the paint to children, add about 20 times the amount of water to the paint quantity. We at the Butterfly Art Project wish you many happy painting sessions with your children.
The functions of each component are as follows. Pigments provide color. Binders or resins keep the colored dot on the surface. Solvents keep the paint liquid. Additives provide additional capabilities. 4 classes of paints. 1. Water-based paint utilize water dot as the primary solvent, contributing dot to their low toxicity and minimal odor. They come in various types, including latex and dot acrylic, each with its specific properties tailored to different applications, while offering practical advantages like ease of cleanup and fast drying times. They may have a less glossy finish and can be sensitive to water before curing. Organic-based paint. Solvent-based paint is a type of paint that uses organic solvents as a medium to bind the dot pigment and resin together. This type of paint has been widely used for industrial, automotive, and marine applications due to its durability and resistance to harsh environmental conditions. Types of organic solvent-based paint. Aliphatics, aromatics, alcohols, ketones, white spirit. Inorganic solvent-based paint. Solvent-based paint is a type of paint that uses organic solvents as a medium to bind the pigment and resin together. This type of paint has been widely used for industrial, automotive, and marine applications due to its durability and resistance to harsh environmental conditions. Type of inorganic solvent-based paint. Casein and dextrinated paint. Manufacturing of paints. The manufacturing process of paint typically revolves the following steps. Raw material selection and dot preparation. Raw materials are carefully selected and prepared for assay in the paint manufacturing process. This typically involves dot grinding and mixing the dot pigments and other ingredients to create a homogeneous mixture. Formulation and blending. The paint base is combined with additional ingredients such as solvents and additives to create the final paint product. Preparing the paste. Before paint can be made into a liquid, it first starts out as a grain. Spreading the pigment, thinning the paste.